This is Gemara Baba Basra Daf Kof Mem Vav, and all the learning should be an incredible zchos Rafua Shlema for Tinoik ben Miriam Ahuva b'siyata d'Shmaya. We should be able to see the Koyach HaTorah do and bring the ultimate Rafua Shlema. We're holding on the last narrow line of Kof Mem Hey Amid Beis. Rabbi Chanina Omer continuing darshaning up the psukim in Mishlei that we brought previously. Says Rav Chanina, Kol Yamai Ani V'Ra'im. All of the days of an Ani are bad. Zeh Isha Ra. What does this refer to? Son who has a bad wife. V'Toiv Le Mishla Tamid. What does it mean? The good heart parties constantly. Zeh Isha Toiva. Rabbi Yana Amar Goyim Yani V'Ra'im Zeh Istanis. What does it mean? One who has very bad days is referred to an istanis. He's very squeamish. Everything is repulsive. He's an expansive das. He can handle anything. What does that mean? Is that rachamon? This is one who is soft-hearted. That is, he called Yamai Ani V'Ra'im, that he's very soft, and therefore emotionally he gets hurt by everything. Shuban Levi Amar Koimi Anim V'Rayim Zeh Shadaita Kitzara Tamish Tamid Zeh Shadaita Rechava. We turn over to Kov Mem Vav Amid Aleph Amar Rav Yeshua ben Levi, another pshat in this pasuk. What does it mean? Says Rav Yeshua ben Levi, Kol Yamai Ani Ra'im. What does that mean? I asked Rav Yeshua ben Levi, how can you say Kol Yamai? It's not Kol. I Vayika Shabbos Yamin Taivim, but the Shabbos in Yontif. Answers the Gemara, Kiddush Shmuel. Shita of Shmuel, we saw this Gemara in Ksubis, that what does Shmuel teach us? Amar Shmuel. It's true that it could be Shabbos and Yantif, that even the Ani has food, but Shina Yveset Tchilas Chayli, that when you change things, it brings on illness, and therefore even the Ani, that when he has different things to eat, Lamaisa makes him sick. Ksev V'Sever Ben Sira Kaimi Ani Rayim Ben Sira Imer Af Leilois. Even the night times are bad. Why are even the night times bad? Vishval gagim gagoi. Base of the roof is his roof. Mimatar mimtar gagim legago. The roof comes from other people's. The rain comes from other people's roofs to his roof. Beroim harim karma. The height of the mountain is in his vineyard. What does that mean? Ma'afar karma lekramim. The soil of the vineyard falls to other people's vineyards. He gets messed up all over. We continue with the Mishnah. 8 lines down. Kuvim vavam et aleph. Says the Mishnah, Shaleach Savlon is lebeis chamav. Someone who sends bridal gifts to the house of his father-in-law, Shalach Shamei Mana. If he sent there 100 mana of Achal Sham, Suudas Chasan, and he ate a Suda of a Chasan there, Afilu Bedinar, even he sent a massive gift and he only ate a little bit, Eino Nigvin, he cannot correct, meaning, what happens if they don't end up getting married? As you look at the Rashbam, and the Rashbam says, Emesu, he dies, she dies, he decides he doesn't want to get married. The fact that he ate together, that is an effective mechila on the gifts that he gave. Asuyan livla is hadri afal pisha achav v'shasi man get a tan of Gemara. So see the Gemara. Says the Mishnah, loyachol sham sudas chasid. If he did not eat over there, then what? Harelu nigvim. Then if he end up not getting married, he could collect the gifts that he sent. Shalach savlanas merubim. If he sent large gifts, says the Mishnah, sheyachzeru ima lebeis vayla. The purpose of the many gifts is, and he said that he wants her to bring those gifts into his house, the Beis Baila, Harelu Nigvin, then what? Then he could collect in the event that the marriage doesn't happen because she's not coming to Beis Baila. Savlanis Muatin, Shetashim Rema Beis Aviyah. If he gives small gifts that she should use now in the Beis Aviyah, then a Nigvin, he does not collect that. So it says the Gemara, let's deal with the first din in the Mishnah. First din in the Mishnah was that if he even ate a small suda, we said he's meichel on all his gifts. Amar Rava, dafker dinner. Has to be at least a dinner, some level substantial gift. A vachsmi dinner, loy. But if it's less than a dinner, then he does not, meaning he still will be able to get back the gifts that he gave. Says the Gemara, Pshita dinner tonight. The Mishnah said dinner. Answers the Gemara, Mahu the Temo, I didn't have you dinner. Maybe it's the same thing. I think Tani dinner. Maybe it's just a regular way of writing it said dinner. Says the Gemara, Kamash lunch. So the Chiddush is no, that it has to be Dafka a dinner. So point number one, says the Gemara, is that it's only if it is Dafka a dinner. Continues the Gemara, Achal Tanan, Shasamai. The Mishnah said, if he ate, what if he just drank? Shasamai. Who Tanan? The Mishnah says he ate. Shluchai Mai. What if he sent someone with the gifts and that person ate there? Sham Tanan. It says he ate there. Shiger Loi Mai. What if he didn't actually eat there, but the father-in-law sent him food? Meaning, are all these ways of benefiting for the future father-in-law ways that he'll be meichel the gifts as well? Tashema says, the Gemara he sent his father-in-law's house. Meya Kranois. He sent his father-in-law's house 100 wagons, shal kadei yayin, jugs of wine, shal kadei shemen, jugs of oil, shal kli kasef, shal kli zav, gold and silver, shal kli milas, and fine wool. V'rachav v'simcha seiv ha'olach v'aven al bezle beis chamav. And he went and traveled and went outside his father-in-law's house. V'oitziu, and they brought out to him kois shel chamin, they gave him a hot drink. V'shasa, he drank it. And who mays? He died. So he didn't end up having the marriage. And this was the halacha that Rav Achas HaRabiyah presented in front of the Chachamim, Le'usha v'amru, Savlonis al-suyin livlois, gifts that are made, she'asuyin livlois, that are worn out, ein nigvin. She'ein asuyin livlois, nigvin. So what do we see from this story? Shema Mina, says the Gemara, smack in the middle of the white lines, Afilu Shasa Shema Mina. We see that even though the Mishnah said that he ate a dinner, we see that it's not only that, we see it's even drinking. Says the Gemara, but if that's true, Shmas Mina, Afilu Bachs me dinner, Amravashi, Man Leimelan Velo Sachakule Marginisa, the Shavi Alpha Zuzi. How do you know just because he drank something, how do you know it wasn't expensive? Maybe he ground up a pearl worth 1,000 zuz, vashke, and that is what he drank. So why are you suggesting just because it was a drink is that excessive? Shema Mina, fine, so we don't have a right to that. But Shema Mina, we have another raya, says the Gemara, I apologize, we're having highlighting issues. Shema Mina, afilu shagru like, because they sent him out the drink. Says the Gemara, maybe not, maybe drinking at the entrance of father-in-law's house, that's the same thing as drinking in the father-in-law's house. That's not a raya. The only raya that we do have is to shasa, that we do have a raya that drinking is going to be the same din. And we continue in the Gemara Ibayilahu with a new shayla. Ask the Gemara, Ma'u sheyeshalish. Is he able to prorate? Asks the Gemara. Shvach savlanis ma'u. What about the benefits of savlanis? Kima di yisrael l'didei. Hajiver shu say. Do we say that since the original gifts, if they were still around, would come back to him, therefore, b'shu say shavuach, it's considered that they went up in value in his rishas. If they were lost, or mignavi are stolen, if they were lost or they were stolen, she would have to pay him back. So therefore, she's responsible for them, and therefore it's considered that it went up in value in her rishos. So the Gemara has opposite svaras as to whose rishos it is in, and says the Gemara, Teiku, we're going to have to wait for this shayla. Ba'i Rava, we continue with another shayla. What about gifts that generally do get worn out? They are depletable, but they weren't. What's the din then? Says the Gemara. Tashima answers the Gemara. And they said, Savlanos hasuyin libalos ein nigvin. V'shein hasuyin libalos nigvin. So the Gemara quotes a brisa, quotes a memra. That's machalik whether they are depletable or not. So says the Gemara, my love, avalgav deloy balu. It sounds like the detail is whether it is an entity that is used up or not. It didn't say anything about if it is used up. So says the Gemara, it sounds like even if it's not used up, as long as it's a suyin livlois. Answers the Gemara, loy dibalu. The case is that it actually got used up. So we don't have a raya if it didn't. Tashema, savlanis muatin, small gifts, shetishtamesh ben, that are used in the father's house, a nigvim are not collected. So Gemara wants to bring a raya that even it sounds like a nigvin, irregardless whether they're actually used up or not. Tigma rava biyeva v'sicha. Caps and hairnets, talking about items that are not returned. The reason is because it's such inexpensive items, has nothing to do with whether they're used up or not. So we do not have a raya tar shayla. He sent to his father-in-law's house yain chadash, new wine, v'shemen chadash, and new oil, klipishtan chadash, batzeres, on Shavuos. My kamashlan, what's the chiddush? Says the Gemara, by Yisema, the chiddush is 3 lines to the bottom. Chashivus ad Eretz Yisrael kamashlan, teaching us the chashivus of Eretz Yisrael. By Yisema, it's teaching us the ta'in, ta'inisa, ta'ina. Or it teaches us that if you make such a claim, his claimants believe that you could be, these are all the items that are sent. There was a story with a person, that his wife was a tutranis, she was not able to smell, so he went after her to a churva tarun, to check if she indeed was not able to smell, and the reason being, he wanted to divorce her as it's a mum, that one cannot smell. He said to her, I smell the odor of reach sainin, of radishes in Galil. Amra, as we turn over to Kavmen Vavam and Beis Amra Lei, she responds, Mani Yoyev Lan, Mi Koisavas the Yerichai V'achal Nabei, who will give us dates from Yerichai that we are able to eat it? Nafal Aleh Chorba Umeisa. The Chorba then fell in her, and she died. Amru Chachamim, Hayav Lo Nichla Zacharel, Labaitka Meisa, Eino Yarsha. Since he only went there to test her, and clearly she was not able to smell, she just knew that radishes go well together with dates. Since she cannot smell, says the Gemara, he does not inherit her because he was planning on divorcing her. Continues the Gemara, Savlan is muat, Shetishtamij and Beisavi, Yosef Ravin, Saba, Kamidra Papa Yosef Kamar, Bein Shemesi, whether she dies, Bein Shemesi, whether he dies, Hadar Hu Savlanos. In either scenario, Hadarhu, or if he is chayzer, doesn't get married, Sevla Nais Hadri, the gifts go back. Maicholu Mishtel Lo Yadar, food and drink does not go back. Hadra Ba'ihi, but if she is the one who retracts, she calls off the wedding. Hadra Filu Kisha Diarko, then everything, even a bunch of vegetables, go back. We evaluate the value of cheap meat. Ad kama bezol, ad tilsa, says the Gemara, up to a third less. So that concludes this first part, or first half, I should say, which is dealing with the Mishnah of Savlanus. We continue with a new Mishnah with a totally new topic, which is Matnas Shchimera, which the halacha is that even if he backs out, the gift takes effect. So says the Gemara, Shchimera, someone who's lying in his deathbed, he's seriously ill, he writes away all his property to someone else, but he leaves behind one little bit of karka. If this sounds familiar, it's because we've had this Mishnah already. He leaves over one little bit of karka. Matanasai kayemes, the halacha is the matana stands even if he gets better. But loy shayar karka kolshu, if he did not leave over any little bit, he gave away everything. Then, if he gets better, ein matanasai kayemes, the gift does not stand if he recovers. The fact that he gave away everything is a clear indicator that he only did it because he thought he's dying. So if he doesn't die, he gets back the properties. Says the Gemara, Mantana does lina basar umdana. Who's the Tana that we go by in umdana? As we're shatzing up, or clearly evaluating whether he wanted to give it away or not. Rav Nachman Rav Shimon ben Asi, the Tanya, Rishalach ben Azam Dina Sayam, Sham Shameis ben Ay. So when someone overseas years his son died, Vama because of Gunachazalach, he writes away everything. Vachar Kach Gezwa Babin Ay. The son comes back, he wasn't dead. Matanase Matana. Says the Tanakama, Lamais, you gave everything away. It's a good Matana. But says Rav Shimon ben Asi Omer, ein Matanase Matana. Why? Because we go Basra Amdina. Hayodeh Shavano Kayam Loy Haya Kaisvin. You would never have given away. So says the Gemara, our Mishnah is the opinion of Rav Shimon ben Menasya. Rav Sheshes Amar, no, not Rav Shimon ben Menasya. I mean, it's Rav Shimon Shizuri. Titania, I remember originally they said, someone who goes out in chains to be executed. They write to my wife. They write if you to give it. But the Chachamim retracted and they said, even if one goes out to sea or he goes on a caravan overseas, still if he writes to get to his wife, it's they elicit him. Shem Shizuri Omer, no, Afa Mesukun. Afa Mesukun, even a Mesukun could write a get to his wife. So says Shem Shizuri, why? Because we go Basar Umdina. Clearly, the reason why is because he wants to get divorced, he feels like he's dying. So our Mishnah could be Shem Shizuri, who also go Basar Umdina. Says the Gemara of Rav Nachman, my timer, Loi Mukim La, Kirv Shem Shizuri. Why did Rav Nachman go Shem Shizuri? Shani Asam, Damar Kisvu, because he said, write it. My time alone, look like Rav Shimon Menasya. Omda de muchach shiny. That's mamish muchach. Therefore, that wouldn't necessarily be a raya. We'll pick it up from here. B'siyata dishmaya.